I've been on both sides. 15 years renting and now owning in New York. Both have real benefits, but also big trade-offs. In this video, I'm going to break down the real numbers, the hidden benefits, and the current market conditions so you can decide which makes more sense for you right now in the buy versus rent decision. Here's what you'll see today. First, which option actually costs less right now, buying or renting? And I'll run a real world scenario. Secondly, the other benefits of buying versus renting beyond just the monthly costs. And third, how to think about today's market and what's coming up next to help you make the smartest move for your lifestyle and long-term wealth. Renting in a high-cost city can feel like this. Every month you pour water in and it slowly leaks out. That's your rent. Now, picture another bucket with no holes. Every time you pour water in, it stays. Over time, it fills up. I've lived both scenarios. For 15 years, I rented in New York City, paying roughly $3,000 a month. That's about $540,000 over that time. Then I switched to owning my primary residence, and my monthly payments were about the same. The experience of each has been very different, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So let's start by answering the question most people have first. What actually costs less right now? Right now in Manhattan, a luxury one-bedroom rents for $5,909 a month. If you were to buy a similar property with 20% down and a mortgage rate around 6.6%, your monthly payment, including taxes and common charges, might be closer than you think. And here's the thing, rent often goes up. A client of mine rented a one-bedroom at 50 West for $7,000 a month 2 years ago. Today, that same apartment rents for $9,000. That's a 28% increase for the exact same space. But the cost is only part of the equation. To really compare these options, we need to look at the other benefits each offers beyond just the monthly payment. When you buy, you can build equity, and your property may appreciate over time. Plus, there are tax deductions that can help offset your costs, and these include mortgage interest deductions. You can deduct the interest portion of your mortgage payments, which in the early years is often the majority of your payment. The other one is the self-deduction. You can deduct up to $40,000 of state and local taxes, including property taxes if you're based here in the city like New York City. And of course, when you own, you have the freedom to customize your home however you want. When you rent, on the other hand, your flexibility is way higher. You can move quickly and you avoid the cost and hassle of repairs and maintenance. Your upfront financial commitment is also way lower. In New York City, to rent a place, you'll usually need first month's rent plus 1 month security deposit. But to buy at the lowest end, you might find a condo requiring 10% down. But in most cases, sellers and their lenders will want to see 20% down. So on a $1 million apartment, that's around $200,000 up front. And you'll also need to cover closing costs, which can add another 3 to 4% of the purchase price, or $30,000 to $40,000. So yes, buying offers long-term financial potential, but the barrier to entry is much higher than renting. Now, all of these benefits and costs can look very different depending on what the market is doing. And 2025 has its own unique set of conditions. Yes, mortgage rates are higher than they were a couple of years ago, but we're also seeing more inventory, fewer bidding wars, and sellers offering concessions like closing cost credits covering 1 or 2 years of closing costs. Meanwhile, rents are still extremely high and in many cases climbing quickly. Since the FAIR Act took effect in June 2025, already high rents have jumped another 12%. Earlier this year, I priced a 2-bedroom rental in Chelsea at $9,000 a month. Just a few months later, it's now listed at $13,000. That's $4,000 a month more, or $48,000 a year for the same apartment. So short-term numbers are important, but where this decision really plays out is in the long term. Over time, ownership has the potential to do more than just cover housing costs. It can build a valuable asset, an asset that may appreciate, protect against inflation, and be leveraged or passed down in the future. One of my clients in South Williamsburg bought in 2013 for a $1.5 million home. 10 years later, they sold that same unit for $2.8 million. That's a $1.3 million gain while living in and enjoying their home. Of course, no decision is without its risks, and that's why we need to take a look at the trade-offs. On the buy side, there's potential for market downturns, there's high monthly carrying costs, and the fact that real estate isn't liquid. Selling also takes time and money. On the rental side, you have unpredictable rent hikes, there's no equity growth, and dependent on a landlord's decision. Neither choice is automatically better. The right choice depends on your financial situation, your lifestyle, and the market. Now, if buying is on your radar, there's one more thing you need to understand before you start looking. If you are leaning towards buying, especially here in New York City, you need to understand exactly how condos work. Most luxury buyers here choose condos over co-ops, but condos do come with specific ownership rules, fees, and processes that can impact your decision. That's why I put together a full video breaking down exactly how condos work in New York City, from ownership to fees to rules that you need to know before you buy. So click here to watch that next so you can move forward with confidence.